Let's work on fitting sinusoidal data and doing it manually. What I'm going to focus on in this example is basically the technology components to make sure you're comfortable with it. What I have here is a set of data. The X, or the independent variable, is the month number, and the Y is the average monthly temperature in Chicago. If you're in my class, this is on page 925 of our pilot book, and it's example 1. You can stop this video and just input all the data. Once you're ready, just turn it on again. Okay, here goes. The data is all input on a page in my file, and what I'd like to do is make a quick scatter plot of it. So I'm going to go Control Doc to add a page, Data and Statistics, and I'm going to graph the month as the independent, predicting the average temperature per month in Chicago. Nice. With this said, we'd like to fit this with the curve. When I say sinusoidal, it could be a sine curve or a cosine curve. Either one is appropriate because they're just a phase shift off. Now here's the dilemma. I can do a regression on this type of page, but I can't really input a function that's complicated. So what we're going to do is the following. We are going to go Control Doc and add a graph page. And what I'd like to do is in menu, change the entry line, which is choice 3. And let's change it to scatter plot. Now, X represents the month. If I hit the variable, that's saying what variables have you stored, and X is the month. If I arrow down, I hit variable, oh, I lost it. Let's go back here. Okay, here we go, sound effects, variable, month. I'm going to arrow down, variable, average temperature. I'm going to hit enter. Now you notice you see nothing. It's because your window is completely wrong. Our temperatures are much higher than 6.67 degrees, which is the max on our graph. So we're going to go to Menu, Window, and Zoom Data, which will give us the best window the calculator thinks for our data. With this said now, we can do a little bit of work getting the function. Now going back to our notes page, I think I'd like to start with the K. And that's our midline, which we know is going to be the highest score plus the lowest score, or max plus min divided by 2. In that case of our problem, it's 74 plus 23.8 over 2, which equals 48.9. So that's our K, or at least we hope it is. Now, if you were on your calculator and it was hard to see those values, and you wanted to, you could always go Menu, Trace, and Graph. And when you arrow along, you could get each value. And that sometimes is a really nice tool to know. But regardless of this, I'm going to hit Escape. I'm going to go Control G to get an entry line. Oh, but notice we're still on scatter plot. I'm going to take it off scatter plot now by going Menu, Graph Entry, and choose Function again. And I'm going to input 48.9, so I have the midline. Now I'd like to figure out what my amplitude would be. Well, the nice thing about amplitude is it's half the distance from the highest, or the maximum, to the minimum. So with that said, we can go 74 minus 23.8 over 2, and that's going to equal 25.1. So this amplitude here will be 25.1. We've already said that the K is going to be 48.9. With this said, it would really be nice now to have the omega. Okay, well, one cycle here for the temperature is obviously going to be 12 months. And we do know from our past experience that 2 pi over omega equals our period, which is 12 months. Solving for omega, we are going to get pi over 6. Again, it would be really nice to think of that as this pi over 6 is the value for our omega. So we're pretty much ready now to try to put this into our calculator. I'm going to go Control G to get the entry line. I know the amplitude, my estimate of it is 25.1. Oh, escape. Actually, I got the table there. We'll go Control Z. That should get rid of it. Okay, 25.1. We're going to, I'll try doing this with the sine. I know cosine would be better. Ask yourself why. But just for the practice, I'm going to go sine. And I know that the omega, Control divide, is going to be pi over 6. I'm going to arrow over, and I'm going to put in a parentheses. I'm going to make it x minus 0. And then I'm going to go outside, because I don't know the phase shift yet, but I'm going to put plus my midline, which was 48.9. Pretty nice. Now I would like to grab this and move it over here. Now we want to take this red curve and we want to shift it to the right. So my thought is to take the maximum and try to move it to the maximum here. So with that said, I can again go into Menu, Trace, Graph Trace. We can see that this is happening at the 7th month, and that's in blue on the bottom where my cursor is. If I arrow down, I'm going to trace on the red curve. Oh my God, it's going crazy. What did it do? Let's hit Escape. Let's try that again. Menu, Trace. That was really weird. Graph Trace. Okay, I'm going to arrow, arrow, and now I'm on the red curve, and I'm going to trace it to what looks like the top. And it looks like it's happening around 3. So we're thinking from like 3 is the top of the red, the x value, to 7 is the x value for the blue. So I want to shift it 4 to the right. So Control G, I'm going to arrow up and I'm going to go in this equation and I'm going to switch that 4 to the right. It's going to be a minus. Up. Let's hit Control Z. I just did something weird. Okay, let's go up. No, little crazy here. Okay, enter. I don't know what I just did. Let's try that again. Control G, arrow up. Okay, I'm going to tab this over and I'm going to go -4. Hit enter. Pretty nice. Now I could play with this a little bit more, but I think you have the gist of it. Now, if I wanted to compare this regression, or actually this model that I made by hand, to the calculator's regression, I could go back to page 1.2, go Menu, Analyze, and I could go Regression, and I could go Sinusoidal, and it will fit it really nicely. And again, we have the function right there. Okay, I hope this helps you guys, and practice with the homework tonight.